Hey, today I want to talk about something that is actually pretty serious, and I'll be honest with you, I don't want to talk about this right now. This is not something that I want to address, but I feel like it's important. And the thing is a lot of times we have experiences and we don't test them. We just assume that the things that we always experience are from God. But the Bible says to test everything. It says to test the spirits to see whether or not that they are from God. Because the truth is we're going to see a lot of experiences in our churches sometimes, and the Bible says to test that. So today, I know this is going to sound strange, and I honestly don't even want to be doing this. I honestly don't. But I want to talk about holy laughter. And the reason is because I have had an experience with holy laughter, and I want to talk about it. I also want to tell you about some other things that I've experienced, and it's not something that I want to do because I know that my friends will probably think that I'm crazy, but I feel that this is important, so this is what I'm going to do. Okay, probably about when I was about 20, early 20s, late teens, something like that, I had an experience with holy laughter. There was a man that came to our church, and I don't remember exactly how it happened. I don't know if he prayed for me or he put his hands on me, and I started laughing. Okay, I started this laughter came over me, and I couldn't stop laughing. And it wasn't like a normal laugh, okay? It's not like when you're sitting with your friends and you're laughing. This was something that was different. Okay? It was like this. It's like this feeling of euphoria, this thing that just comes over you, and you just start laughing. Okay? It's really hard to explain, and it actually seems like a very pleasant experience. It's something that you're like, wow, I mean, everybody likes to laugh, so I never questioned that. Okay? I always thought that was from God, that was God. I was told that this is a move of God. So the Bible says to test the spirits to see whether or not they are from God. And just because we've experienced things our entire lives, I know maybe not everyone has experienced this, but a lot of people have. Many, many people have experienced this. I want to tell you right now, and this is going to sound strange, and this is something else that I hate talking about, because I realize that when I talk about these things, that there's always a chance that I could lose a friend, or that somebody will think that I'm very weird. And so it's hard for me to talk about experiences that I've had. The Bible says to test those experiences. So I want to tell you about this experience that I had in Baton Rouge one time. First off, I want you to know that the devil is very real. A lot of people don't believe in the devil. A lot of people think that the devil is sitting in hell waiting with a pitchfork for a Satanist to fall into hell. I don't know what people perceive as the devil. I don't know. But the Bible says that the devil is roaring around. He's like a lion that's roaring, that's seeking he's seeking who he may devour, okay? The devil he's very much active right now, okay? There's a verse in the Bible that says that we fight not against flesh and blood, but against the unseen. If you don't believe me, type it in your Google search engine and you're going to pull up that verse. It says we do not fight against the natural realm, okay? As Christians, we fight against something other, okay? Because there are spirits in this world. Well, I've always had very strange experiences. When I was a kid, strange things would happen to me, okay? I never knew what it was, but I knew that it was very weird, okay? I'd be laying in my bed, alright? And I could feel something. I didn't know what I was feeling back then, but what I was feeling was an evil presence entering my room. And my my headboard on my bed would start to shake. Okay, and I would always know that it was going to happen before it happened. It was like I knew it but what I didn't realize was that what I was sensing was a presence of darkness coming in. Okay, and I didn't know what it was, and I'd always ask my mom about it, and she had no clue, and we just kind of brushed it off. But it was very strange for me, and I always wondered why these things would happen. Well, I was living in Baton Rouge. I moved there around 1996, and I was there for about 5 years. And one day, I had this neighbor. We were really good friends. And I walked over next door to go visit, and he was watching The Exorcist. And I told him that I didn't want to watch that. I was like, no. I said, that's not something that I've ever seen, and it's not something that I ever want to see. I've watched a lot of scary movies, but I did not want to see that. And I told him about the experiences that I had when I was a kid. And I didn't think anything of it. I went home, and I went to bed. Well, that night, I was laying there, and my back was away from the door. It was faced toward the wall. Well, I could feel something. I was laying there, and all of a sudden I could feel like something was standing in that doorway, okay? And I felt this immense hatred, like something that I had never felt before. Like something was hating me with such intensity that I couldn't even explain it. And all of a sudden this fear, this extreme fear came over me like you would not believe. All of a sudden, my smoke alarm starts going off all by itself. This had never happened before. And then all of a sudden, my bed just starts shaking like something you would see in a horror movie, okay? And this was a very, very bad experience for me. And anyway, so I called my friend over. By this time, the bed had stopped shaking, but I knew that whatever was there was still there. So I called my friend over, and I was crying. I was like, look, I said, this is going to sound weird. You're not even going to believe it. But I told him what had happened, and I said, I want you to come here right now, and I want to see if I can prove to you that I'm not crazy. So he came over, and we're in my room, okay? And I wanted to prove to him that this demonic spirit was real. So I did something. I didn't realize what I was doing, but what I had done was invite the demonic into my life, and I didn't realize I had done that because I wanted to prove to this man that the demonic was real. So, in essence, I started playing, I guess you could call it playing, with this spirit, okay? I hit a part of the bed. I was like talking to it. I was like, I hit a part of the bed, and I was like, if you're real, I want you to move this part of the bed. I want you to do something. Well, it did, okay? The part of the bed that I hit, it moved. You could see, like something was hitting, like a fist that you couldn't even see was hitting the bed. Okay? And so this went on for a few minutes. And then all of a sudden, the atmosphere changed. It completely changed. Before you knew it, me and my friend were laughing. We were just sitting there, just rolling over laughing, okay? And the atmosphere was like really playful. Like it was, and I actually said out loud, I was like, maybe this thing's not bad after all, whatever this is. I said, maybe this is something good. Well, after I said that, I could feel it starting to get angry again, and then the bed actually started moving again. And by this time, you could feel its anger again, okay? And so my friend got extremely scared, and he ran out the room. He ran out the house, and I actually didn't see him a whole lot after that, for the next few months. But, what I want people to take away from this is there's a verse in the Bible that says the devil disguises himself as an angel of light. He comes as an angel of light, okay? It's his purpose to deceive people. And he will do that by letting you think that something is good when it's really not, when it's very dangerous and deadly. He can actually disguise himself. And so I remember laughing in the presence of an evil spirit, thinking that it was something good, when only moments before I felt this immense hatred. Well, right now I want to talk about a trip to Sedona, Arizona that I had gone to. I took my boys to the Grand Canyon. It's been about maybe a year and a half ago, something like that. And one thing I want people to know about Sedona is that there's a lot of psychic activity, okay? Even when we stayed in the hotel, there are brochures and everything's about, like, it's very new age, okay? It's very psychic. They say that the rocks bring healing to people that go there, and the people that go there, they associate this place with healing and with this feeling that they say that when they leave or when they're there, they feel a euphoria. They feel good, okay? The ironic thing is Sedona is one of the most beautiful places in the United States. I mean, it's mountains and it's just gorgeous. It's very beautiful, okay? But there are all these spirits there that, and you're caught up in this euphoria almost, and it's very strange. And even if you research it, you'll see that there's a lot of psychic powers there, and there's a lot of new age, and there's a lot of, they call the rocks or healing rocks. Well, when I was there, it was one of the most miserable days of my entire life. This depression came over me that I could not even explain. I couldn't sleep that night because just strange things were happening, and I didn't sense it as a place that was good. It was a place that was, things came against me there that it wasn't good. But the thing is it was deceptive, okay? There's all these deceptive spirits, okay? And I know this sounds strange to people, but it's there. Okay, what got me questioning holy laughter was, I was browsing the internet, and you have to be careful what you see on the internet. And I came across some things that says that holy laughter wasn't holy. And I was like, what? Like, I've always just assumed that because I was laughing and because that I was told that this was something from God, I just assumed that this was from God. I just lost my thought process. Hold on. But, okay, one thing that had me start